for months, maybe years now, it feels like we've all been swimming in theories, predictions about generative AI.
Yeah, constant talk about which jobs are going to be augmented, which automated, what it all means economically.
Exactly. But today we're moving past the hypotheticals. We're actually looking at the receipts, real-world usage data.
That's right. Our mission here in this deep dive is to really analyze how people are using AI on the job. Like right now.
And the source for this.
We're diving into a pretty major analysis. It's based on 200,000 anonymized conversations from Microsoft Bing Copilot. Now it's just Copilot.
200,000 conversations. Wow.
Yeah, gathered from U.S. users over about 9 months in 2024.
Okay, that is a staggering amount of empirical data. So the goal here isn't prediction, it's observation.
Precisely. We're using the standard ONET system that's basically the government's huge dictionary for categorizing all the tasks in every job.
Right, the ONET taxonomy.
And we want to answer that core question. What's the demonstrable frontier of AI capability right now, based on how you and everyone else are actually interacting with it at work?
Okay, so where do we start with figuring that out?
Well, to really understand that frontier, we need to make a crucial distinction right up front.
Okay.
This research differentiates between the work the user wants help with, what they're trying to accomplish. We call that the user goal.
Right, the goal.
And the task that AI actually performs in response, that's the AI action.
Okay, user goal versus AI action. Let's unpack this a bit. Why is separating those two things so vital?
It's vital because, often the AI isn't doing the task the user wants done. It's acting more like a consultant, maybe, not the executioner.
Give me an example.
Okay, so take this example from the source. A user needs help printing a document. Their user goal, in OneNet terms, falls under operate office equipment. Pretty straightforward.
Operate equipment.
But the AI's action isn't operating anything. It can't, right? It provides step-by-step instructions on how to print.
Yeah.
So the AI action, therefore, gets classified as something different. Train others to use equipment.
So the human wants execution, but the AI delivers expertise, instructions. It's like this instant, perfectly patient mentor.
Exactly like that. And here's the kicker, the really surprising fact the research highlighted.
Yeah.
In a huge 40% of these 200,000 conversations, the user goal work activities and the AI action work activities were completely disjoint.
40%.
40%. No overlap at all. The AI is doing a separate, supportive kind of work.
Wow, 40% disparity. Is that because the AI just isn't good enough yet to execute the task? Or are users maybe asking in a way that leads to this? Like, is the AI correcting the approach?
It seems to imply the latter, actually. The AI's current capability often means it sort of reframes the human's immediate need to do this into a task it's really good at, which is instruction, synthesis, explanation.
Okay.
And we need to be clear here, this data just shows usage and capability patterns. It doesn't tell us anything definitive about downstream impacts, like job losses or wage changes.
Right. It's about potential, not outcome.
Exactly. But it definitely confirms AI is carving out its own distinct work function.
So knowing that the AI is playing this distinct supportive role almost half the time, that leads us to ask, okay, what specific types of tasks are people using AI for? What kind of work needs this consultative AI support?
Well, zooming out to the broad categories, we saw this overwhelming confirmation of the focus on knowledge work. No surprise there, maybe.
Right.
The big categories of work, what the study calls generalized work activities, or GWAs, that were massively overrepresented in Copilot usage compared to the average U.S. workforce.
Yeah.
There were things like getting information, interpreting information for others, thinking creatively, updating and using relevant knowledge, and, naturally, working with computers.
That's basically the definition of desk work right there. If you're dealing with data, concepts, communication, you're hitting up the AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And conversely, the activities that were significantly underrepresented, exactly what you'd expect a chatbot can't do.
Physical stuff.
Physical activities, like handling and moving objects. Also, tasks needing real-time physical control things like monitoring processes or materials, or guiding, directing, and motivating subordinates, or operating vehicles or equipment.
Okay, that makes intuitive sense. Physical versus digital.
But when we drill down even further to the more specific tasks, the intermediate work activities, or IWA, this pattern of the AI acting in a service or support role becomes even clearer.
How so?
The AI action tasks, the things the AI does, frequently used verbs like respond, provide, present, and assist.
Ah, okay.
The AI is essentially performing teaching, coaching, advising activities. It's like your ultimate research assistant and communication specialist rolled into one.
And on the flip side, the user goals. What were humans focusing on?
The user goal IWS, the human side of the equation, were really focused on things like gathering information, reading documents or text, and conducting general research.
So it's a pretty clean division of labor almost. Human collects and frames the need, AI refines, synthesizes, formats the output.
That seems to be a major pattern. Now, usage is one thing, but
Yeah.
how successful is this collaboration? Are people actually happy with the help they're getting?
Yeah, that's the big question. Did the researchers track satisfaction?
They did. They used the thumbs up, thumbs down feedback data that users provide in Copilot alongside an LLM classifier that evaluated task completion based on the conversation.
And the verdict?
Well, the encouraging news is that most of the common activities receive 50% or higher positive feedback.
Huh.
So generally, people are finding the tool genuinely helpful.
Okay, 50% plus. That's a decent starting grade, I guess. Not perfect, but helpful. But where does it really shine? Which areas are getting A's and which ones are maybe C minuses?
Right, the variation is key. The highest satisfaction rates were found in activities related to, number one, writing and editing text.
Okay, expected.
Yeah, things like edit written materials or documents or write letters or correspondence. And number two, researching information. So tasks like research healthcare issues or maintain current knowledge of computing technology. It really excels at handling language and synthesizing existing knowledge.
So language and information synthesis are its strong suits. Where does it struggle? I have a feeling I know.
Well, your hunch is probably right. The lowest satisfaction scores were recorded for tasks requiring more, let's say, objective or structured outputs.
Like data.
Exactly. Specifically, data analysis. Things like process digital or online data or analyze business or financial data. That's where users were less happy.
And anything else in that lower bracket?
The other area was visual design. Tasks like create visual designs or displays, or arrange graphic materials for display.
Right. That tells us something really crucial about where LLMs are right now, doesn't it? They're much better at the softer linguistic parts of knowledge work, the drafting, the communicating, the summarizing, than the hard, structured, analytical, or visual parts.
That's a great way to put it. The synthesis versus the generation of truly novel, structured output.
But did the research look at whether people only used the AI for tasks it was actually best at, or were they trying to use it more broadly, even where it wasn't perfect?
Ah, that's a fantastic question. And they found people were definitely chasing breadth.
Meaning?
Meaning, the key insight here is that the activities people sought AI assistance for most often weren't necessarily the ones the LLM completed most successfully. They were the tasks where the LLM could potentially have the broadest impact across their job, the highest scope, as the study calls it.
Huh. So people prioritize a tool that can touch many parts of their job, even if it needs more human oversight or quality control.
Exactly, over, say, a super niche tool that guarantees 100% accuracy on one tiny task. They want breadth, even if it means managing imperfection.
That makes sense. And that brings us directly to this crucial metric the study developed, the AI applicability score. This assesses entire occupations, right? What exactly is this composite score measuring?
Yet the AI applicability score is a really comprehensive measure for a whole job. It takes all the different work activities associated with an occupation, weights them by how important they are to that job,
Okay.
and then it combines three factors that were observed in the actual Copilot usage data for those activities. How frequently people use Copilot for them, the AI's task completion rate when they did, and the potential scope of impact demonstrated.
Got it. Frequency, completion, scope. Weighted by importance.
Right, so a higher score means essentially that the occupation involves a lot of tasks that current AI, like Copilot, is frequently used for, is reasonably successful at, and has a broad potential to assist with. It indicates higher susceptibility to change driven by current AI capabilities.
Okay, the moment of truth then. Let's unpack this. Who's at the top? Which jobs have the highest AI applicability score?
Well, right at the very top, with something like 98% of their core work activities covered by tasks frequently supported by Copilot, are interpreters and translators.
Makes immediate sense, right? Given the LLM's core strength is language manipulation, translation, transformation.
Absolutely. Others with very high scores included writers and authors, which also fits. But perhaps more surprisingly, sales representatives of services, especially B2B, and customer service representatives.
Wait, sales reps and customer service reps? That's a huge finding. These are massive employment categories, often not requiring advanced degrees or highly specialized skills in the traditional sense. Why is AI applicability so high for them?
It seems to be entirely driven by the AI's proficiency in those communication-heavy IWAs we talked about.
Ah, the respond, provide, assist verbs.
Exactly. Their high scores are fueled by the AI's demonstrated ability to help with things like provide information to customers, respond to customer inquiries, drafting emails, summarizing interactions.
It's a high volume communication engine, and those jobs are fundamentally defined by constant communication.
You got it. The AI acts as a powerful communication amplifier or assistant for them. Another interesting one high up was CNC tool programmers.
Really, that seems less intuitive.
It seems related to the AI's ability to help with generating, debugging, and explaining code or instructions, even specialized ones like G-code used in manufacturing.
Fascinating. Okay, so that's the high end. Conversely, who's least affected? Which occupations have the lowest applicability scores?
Well, as you'd probably predict, the lowest scores belong to occupations heavily defined by physical or manual activities, or those needing intense in-person interaction.
Such as.
We're talking about roles like nursing assistants, massage therapists, dishwashers, industrial truck, and tractor operators,
Yeah.
roofers.
Right. Jobs where the core tasks involve hands-on labor, operating heavy machinery, or direct physical care. An LLM just doesn't have much purchase there.
Precisely. If your main job is moving things, fixing things physically, or caring for people in a hands-on way, current generative AI shows very little potential impact based on this usage data.
This raises a really critical economic question then. How does this applicability score correlate with wages? We've heard so many predictions: AI hits low-wage jobs. No, AI hits high-skill jobs. What does this real-world usage data suggest?
This is one of the most, I think, startling findings in the research. It radically challenges a lot of those common assumptions.
How so?
The employment-weighted correlation between the AI applicability score for an occupation and its average wage is remarkably weak.
Weak how?
Only 0.07.
0.07.
Yeah.
That's basically a flat line. Essentially no correlation.
Pretty much. It means the potential for change based on current AI capabilities is hitting right across the entire wage spectrum. It's not concentrated at the bottom, it's not concentrated at the top.
So the dividing line isn't really income or status, it's the keyboard. Or maybe the type of task.
It seems to be the type of task, absolutely. The impact potential is hitting everyone who performs high-volume knowledge work and communication work, regardless of pay level.
And why is there such a weak correlation?
Well, it's because some of those huge, high-employment, traditionally lower to middle wage occupational groups, specifically sales and office administrative support, also have very high AI applicability scores, as we just discussed.
Right, because of the communication aspect that pulls the average down or flattens the line.
Exactly. So AI doesn't inherently favor impacting high-wage jobs. It favors impacting knowledge and communication jobs. And those exist at almost every income level.
What about education requirements? Is there a stronger link there?
There's a slightly higher link, but it's still pretty modest. Occupations that typically require a bachelor's degree do have a higher mean applicability score. It was about 0.27 on average compared to about 0.19 on average for occupations with lower educational requirements. So yes, a bit higher for degree holders, but not a dramatic difference. The spread is still wide.
Okay, so the big picture takeaway here, though, is that this real-world usage data, it strongly validates a lot of the prior economic predictions about which types of tasks would be affected, right?
It really does. When the researchers compared this usage-based applicability score to prior economic models like predictions about which tasks could see, say, 50% time savings from LLMs,
Yeah.
the correlation was extremely robust, very strong. It was 0.73 when looking at specific occupations,
Yeah.
and even higher, 0.91 when they aggregated up to the broadest industry groups.
Wow, 0.73 and 0.91. That's high.
Very high. It confirms that the predicted focus on knowledge work, particularly tasks involving language and information processing, regardless of the wage bracket, is now clearly reflected in how people are actually using these tools. The theory and the practice are aligning.
Okay, so let's try to sum this up. What does this all mean for us, for you listening? The current frontier of AI capability, based on actual usage, is clearly focused on gathering, writing, editing, and communicating information.
Yes, that knowledge work core. We know where the tool is being used most heavily, and we know where it's succeeding most and where it's still struggling a bit.
But we absolutely must end with a critical caveat here, right?
We absolutely must. Just because an activity or even a whole occupation shows high AI applicability doesn't automatically mean those jobs are doomed or going away.
Right, it's not that simple.
Not at all. Remember the classic bank teller and ATM analogy. ATMs automated a core teller task, dispensing cash, taking deposits.
Yeah, everyone thought tellers would disappear.
But they didn't. Banks found that ATMs lowered the cost of running a branch, so they opened more branches. And tellers, their jobs changed. They shifted away from routine transactions towards relationship building, sales, handling more complex issues.
Automation of a core task led to job change and even growth, not necessarily job loss.
Exactly. This usage data only shows potential. It shows where the friction is, where the capabilities align with tasks. It doesn't show destiny.
That's the really crucial takeaway, I think. The job definition itself evolves. And given what this research shows that the AI currently offers, let's say, moderate scope and definitely less than 100% successful completion, even in those high applicability jobs like writing or translating.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It still requires significant human oversight and input.
The work still needs that human intelligence to bridge the gaps, right? To
Yeah.
provide the quality control, the context, the strategic direction, the connective tissue between the AI-assisted parts.
Human becomes the editor, the prompter, the strategist, the final quality check.
Exactly. So maybe here's the final provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider. If the AI is powerful but imperfect, if it offers moderate assistance across many tasks in these high applicability jobs, how will the successful occupations like those sales reps, those writers, those customer service agents, how will they redefine the essential human role? What becomes that indispensable connecting glue needed to truly leverage the AI's current imperfect capabilities?
That refactoring of work, that adaptation.
That constant refactoring defined by this moving frontier of AI capability, that feels like the critical next area of exploration for all of us navigating this change.